Here we go. It's that time of year when the real estate market heats up along with the weather. Here to talk to us about real estate trends is certified financial planner Jim Lineweaver. And it is exciting because all we've been talking about is taxes, income tax, interest rates, the market, stocks and bonds, but real estate is hot right now.
It is. Well, what happens is usually with the Indians coming with the spring home opener and everything.
There you go.
Right around the corner then is when everybody starts looking for real estate. So if you're a seller right now, it is really a seller's market. Because what happens is there's a lot of buyers and there's not a lot of supply. So that's why you're seeing the prices go up. So on average last year, especially certain markets, you saw prices as high as 10% year over year.
It's also a very good time for a buyer in terms of the amount of interest you pay.
It can be, because what happens is more recently we've been what's called going through an inverted yield curve. So that means long-term rates for 20 or 30-year mortgages have actually come back down. And so people that were thinking the last few years to try to get out and do something now, I'd probably say over the next 12 to 18 months is an excellent time to try to lock in a low mortgage again.
You help people organize their money and tell them what to do to benefit them. And you've got a bunch of stocks and bonds, you got a portfolio, and then you want to buy real estate. How do you prepare to get ready to buy real estate? Is there something you should do?
Yeah, well, we help people with that. So if you're going to be a buyer, what you want to do is not be house rich and cash poor, right? So you don't want to extend yourself too far. So take a look at maybe your credit card debts, car payments, things along that nature, and then factor in that new mortgage. You don't want your overall debt to income ratio to exceed 30%.
30%.
Yeah, so that way when you buy your home, you know, you or your wife's probably going to want to put new furniture and everything else in, all added stuff. So if you don't exceed 30%, you should be fine on a cash flow standpoint.
I remember back in the olden days, it used to be 1 week a month, but 30% now. And also people have to think about when they buy a house, what the tax rate is in the neighborhood they're going to move into. Because you could be surprised. You could get a great deal in a house and then the area like Shaker, Cleveland Heights, University Heights, very high taxes.
Well, not only that, but look, you have school districts, but also if you're going to buy a condo or in a neighborhood which is maybe they're taking care of your grass and the plowing and stuff, you're going to have association dues. So make sure there's not too many increases in those dues over time, because that can also go into your pocketbook.
Does pre-approval play into this?
It's very important. So don't, if you try to go get pre-approval, and most banks will do that now, it'll tell you, should you be looking at a $400,000 house or maybe a $250,000 house to stay within your means.
And what do you tell people who have a house, it's on the market, it hasn't sold quite yet, but they see the house of their dreams right there, and they're trying to be in both worlds at one time? What do you say to them?
Go back and forth. Don't get your emotions too involved, just like the market or anything else you're going to do. Those impulse buys can come back to bite you. So that's where we can come in as a financial quarterback to kind of keep a level head, make sure it makes sense financially. But we always really want to help our clients get those dreams. If it's really something that they're looking forward to, we'll make sure that they can accomplish that.
I know with all your great information, you have successful clients. Successful clients sometimes want to buy maybe a vacation home. How do you figure that in? Is this a good time to buy that?
It can be, depending on what market you're doing and where you're at. We also have some clients that are unfortunately maybe changing their residence from Ohio because of the state income tax. So a lot of these things come into play. So Florida, other states have no personal income tax. So I'm not saying to move out of Ohio by any stretch of the means. I love it here. But from a tax standpoint, that's why you're seeing Florida real estate being one of the hottest in the country. It's not because of the hot weather. It also has to do with the taxes and other things that you benefit from.
That's big for a retirement person.
It's huge.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So we're talking a little bit about, people talk about annuities for retirement. They talk about stocks and bonds. They talk about how they play it safe. How about real estate as an income? How do you feel about that?
It can be great. So let's back up your scenario a little bit. Let's say you want to retire in Florida or have a vacation home in Florida, and you're 5 to 10 years out to retirement. Why don't you possibly look at something that you could rent, have somebody else help pay for that mortgage? And
we're getting free advice right here.
Pay for that property, and then what ends up happening is if it makes sense for you. I mean, not a lot of people like to rent, there's headaches, but maybe in that 5 or 10 years you can have that renter help pay for the house. Now you've got your dream home in Florida, and that's where you're going to retire to. So you can tie everything together.
Is it crazy to rent the house back in Cleveland then, or in Ohio, and keep that as an income?
It could be, especially if you have family here.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah, if you can do it and you're in the right area.
Oh, you said the magic word family. Family, sometimes they don't pay their bills.
That's another story. We'll come back and talk about that on another show.
We'll have the psychologist come in for that.
Sounds good.
Hey, and you don't want to miss Jim's 3-part series taking a more in-depth look at real estate as an investment. A lot of stuff to talk about. You can catch it on his show, The Financial Quarterback. That's Sunday mornings leading into news with Chris Wallace. Don't miss it. You'll get some great information there. Doesn't cost you a nickel, and you might make a lot of money on that advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Natalie?